Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Individualized Education Program or IEP. So let's see what is IEP. The Individualized Education Program is a written program developed by the school's special education team with input from the parents and specifies the students' academic goals and the method to obtain these goals. The IEP is created through a team effort and reviewed periodically. An IEP defines the individualized objectives of a child who has been determined to have disability as defined by federal regulations. The IEP is intended to help children reach educational goals more easily than they otherwise would. Purpose of IEP. The purpose of IEP are to ensure some degree of accountability for teachers to meet the needs of the individual child. Adequate communication among all persons within the school and between school and home concerning the child. Reducing the deficiencies in the child. Developing competency of the child in the focused area, behavior modification and improving the adaptive behavior of the child. In all cases, the IEP must be tailored to the individual student's needs as identified by the IEP evaluation process. And IEP must specially help teachers and related service providers such as paraprofessional educators understand the students' special needs and how the special needs to be catered so that it does not affect the learning process. Moving further with the steps of IEP. Number 1, referral. Number 2, assessment. Number 3, program planning. Number 4, implementation. Number 5, evaluation. And number 6, completion. So let's go to the number 1, that is referral. In this step, the child is referred to as maybe in written form and may be made by anyone involved with the child. If the referral is made by the teacher, then the parents should be informed in writing about the referral. Step 2, assessment. Assessment is the systematic process of gathering educationally relevant information about the child. The purpose is to know what the child can do and what they cannot do, his strengths, limitations, and the problems. Assessment may be in the medical, psychological, or educational area, or all the three areas. So, medical assessment can indicate the child's defects and disease, if any, which may adversely affect his functioning level. Psychological assessment will reveal the adaptive level, attitudes and interest, etc. of the child. Educational assessment will present a clear picture about the present level of academic assessment and learning styles of the child. For conducting assessment, the child's records are reviewed for any information already available. The committee chairperson decides if more information is needed so that possible services can be discussed, and if so, what information is needed. If enough information is already available, a committee meeting will be held to discuss the assessment report. If no information is available or if the information already available is not adequate, then fresh assessment will be made. The assessment team should be multidisciplinary. It should not be biased by race, culture, socio-economic status, or any impairment. After the assessment is made, a committee meeting should be held to discuss the assessment report. If the parents do not accept the report, they may go for an independent assessment conducted by someone other than the school. Step 3. Program planning. After the assessment is over, the committee should now plan an individual program for the child. It should state annual goals and short-term objectives on a monthly or quarterly basis. The committee should decide the specific educational services to be provided, such as speech training, remedial instruction, etc. The committee should also decide who will be responsible for providing services, what services are required, where the services will be provided, the materials required for the purpose, the time frame, etc. Next step is implementation. After the program is planned systematically, the services should now begin as per plan. Next point is evaluation. Evaluation of the services should be an integral part of the implementation process. It should be objective based. Evaluation can be conducted monthly or quarterly or annually. It should indicate whether the child is making satisfactory progress and, if not, what changes are required in the service delivery. Next point is completion. The services should continue until the committee decides that they are no longer required. The IEP comes to an end if the goals are achieved in terms of behavior modification or improvement of academic standard or development of adaptive behavior, etc. Concluding with the developing, program, implementing or evaluation activities related to an IEP may be carried out for the necessary education, adjustment and progress of a child with disability in proper tune with his needs and abilities. So today we have seen concept of individualized education program. Thank you for watching.